This is the Appliance Alliance podcast, where we are elevating the appliance industry, one podcast at a time. Hey guys, and welcome to the Appliance Alliance podcast. I am your host with the most equipment, Zach Ryder, and alongside of me, my southern brother from another mother, Mr. EJ Magic Mike Johnson.
Hey everybody, I'm back. And we're excited for this one. I know we let TK and Miss Ward have their time. We love them too. But I'm unleashed tonight with my buddy from KC, the GOAT in Kansas City Appliance Repair, the King of KC, the Small Business of the Year award winner, Justin Gandy, Appliance 911. What's going on, Justin?
What's up, guys? How you doing? Thanks for having me back.
Of course, it's always a pleasure to have you. Congratulations on the awards for the year. You've been working hard to earn that, my friend.
Yeah, it's all starting to fall in place, man. A lot of hard work, a lot of long hours. Me and the wife, and we're starting to make a name for ourselves.
Yeah, we've had you on a couple of times around, and obviously, if you are a follower of the podcast in any way, shape, or form, you know that Justin is in a mastermind with EJ, myself, and Mr. TK Cousins, and but I feel like Justin, you've really come a long way, even since TK and I first interviewed you way back in February. Was it? It was like episode number 5 or something like that. You've come a long way since even then. So talk, we won't go too in depth, but talk a little bit about what's happened in that interim. Just give us a brief rundown.
Well, first of all, I mean, our weekly meetings really has gave us a lot of direction as far as, being able to meet with other business owners every week and see what's working and what's not. Implementing, good policies and procedures to find good techs, and really, trying to maximize what we're doing in each area. So, for instance, like with sealed system, I now have 5 sealed system guys. Back in February, I had 2 guys. To where I'm really trying to build them up as far as their skill set. So, they're more polished and represent my company in the way that I expect and hope it'll appear to be. And it's paying off. We're winning over customers by being there within 48 hours and having people that are professional and look the part in the house.
How many guys do you have now? Because I know it's kind of fluctuated since we first chatted with you.
10. One guy with HVAC mainly, which I'm kind of cross training him into some appliance repair stuff. He really is driven to kind of master his craft and wants to learn some of that, especially refrigeration. And that's really, we're really focusing on getting that off the ground, to where, I think April said we took 80 service calls in yesterday, which is an enormous number being 4 years in. It's also scary because, it's like, do you have enough guys to keep up with the turn times that we're trying to keep, which is 48 to 72 hours at most. So, yeah, I mean, it's we've come a long way, man. I'd really like to attest to the fact that, those rating and reviews have got out there, and then social media has really been a huge factor in getting our name out in Kansas City, and then being recognized on such a high level with other great business owners. I mean, it was an opportunity you couldn't pass up, and it was really cool to bring in my staff to the award ceremony to make them feel like, hey, you guys were a big part of this. So, yeah.
Yeah, Justin, I just want to attest to having the front row seat from what you're doing. I know I'm not in Kansas City all the time, but I did have the pleasure and the honor to visit you in Kansas City for a week. And it was really twofold, man. I went out there to learn sealed system, specifically LG compressors from the man. I know there's other gurus out there, but Justin has really uh, put himself on the map as being one of those top people in the industry for doing LG sealed systems. And I want to attest to the character of the team that you have, the culture that you've built. Uh, I met everybody on the team at that time. I know you added, I think, 4 in the last 60 days, but it's really a great group of people, a great culture out there. I think one of the keys to your success, and you've said it before, has got to be the way that you treat your customers and your team that works for you. Uh, as everybody is important, and we talk about that at length. That uh, doing the right thing really is one of the things that matters the most when you're running a business. I mean, not only just running a business, but your everyday life, how you interact with people in general, customers, and of course the technicians and CSR, any team member you have. Uh, you want to talk a little bit more about that and how that has really helped you?
Yeah. So, since the beginning, when this journey all started, when I left the banking industry, April and I decided, look, most importantly, we were going to build a culture like no other. We believed it would help grow our business exponentially because the people that work for us would believe in our business and our goals, and they would go out and try to further expand that to reinforce their position in our company. And it's paid tenfold. I mean, to go, in 4 years, we just had our biggest month to record. We did over 125 grand in net sales in 1 month. I didn't do 125 grand my first year. Um, you know, the guys that I brought in, we've probably hired 3 times that amount through this process. And as a new business owner, you learn along the way, character and work ethic, and just finding good people. You can, if you start there and you work from that and develop skill sets, the culture that you're building is we're all there for each other. And it blows my mind. I mean, I have to argue with my guys about taking days off because they want to keep at it. They see the business growth and how fast it's happening, and they see the potential where, hey, you could be in management, you could be running a team of techs if we keep up this pace. And doing things like creating a leaderboard, which creates positive competitive environment, but it also creates kind of a little bit of going back and forth where the lowest guy in the month is getting haggled by the top guy of the month. Really has created a bond between all of us that we're all brothers in this together. And it's paid dividends tremendously. That and we're doing things like providing health insurance now, things that I've wanted to do, and now because of the revenue we're generating, we can make that happen. So these guys, have some of the benefits that come along with that. So that and doing a lot of getting together, team training, team meetings, to where everybody's involved. Everybody has a strong skill set in some area and has something to contribute. I'll tell you this, in my 21 years of doing this, the thing that I'm most proud of about the people that work for us is everybody's humble enough to learn from each other. No matter how long you've been doing it, I've learned from, I have a guy he's doing incredible numbers. He's 56 years old, and he's out kicking these 23-year-old guys' butts. And it's like, maybe you can teach an old dog new tricks. You just don't know. I mean, but we all have our strengths, and the fact that they're trying to help each other and go out on recalls and do things to really further that bond, it's helping each one of them.
If you're a business owner, I want you to understand something here. That culture that he's talking about, that humbleness, that starts at the top and it filters down through the entire company. Okay. Justin has called me and asked me for advice on sealed systems. Okay. Justin's been doing sealed systems in the appliance world way longer than I have. Okay. I have experience in commercial and some of the different things, and I have a different methodology. I was taught by a different breed of sealed system techs. So he's called me and asked me for help. But he's humble enough to say, hey, you know what? I'm just not sure. Let me run this by you. Let me ask you this question. And that filters down through his entire organization. So if you're a business owner and you're seeing issues in your company, take a look in the mirror. What are you putting out into the company? Because that's what you're getting back. So that's kind of a harsh thing, but you need to realize that if you're a business owner, if you're planning on going into business yourself. And that's one of the things that these guys did for me when they were in, they helped me look inward and turn that mirror on myself and realize where things were. So I wanted to kind of highlight that doesn't just happen by accident. So
I appreciate you saying that, buddy. I mean, the some of the things that I've learned from you guys in the group and just from guys in the Facebook group in general, and I've talked to hundreds probably throughout the last couple of years, it does start at the top, but it's all about communication. And when I first started the company, I wasn't the best at it because I have these thoughts, I have these goals I'm trying to accomplish, but I'm not sharing it with my team. And the longer that I've been doing this with my wife and we're growing a business, the more I understand the transparency of the vision of what we're trying to accomplish needs to be, communicated down to the lowest person in the company. And if they understand what you're trying to accomplish, then when you try to critique somebody or you try to change something to try to maybe get better results, you're not going to get nearly as much pushback, because if they understand you're doing this for them too, yeah, sometimes they may not work out and you throw that idea away or whatever, but you got to keep pivoting. You have to. It's so necessary.
So that's a twofold nugget to growth. Okay. They don't care how much you know till they know how much you care. Right. And communication. Your team doesn't give a crap if they don't know why. You can tell them all day long. You can tell them till you're blue in the face. But if they don't know why you're saying that, doesn't matter. It's over their heads. So that's a huge nugget I wanted to highlight there. EJ?
Yeah, it's you guys talking about the humbleness, humility of Justin, and I'll tell you, uh, and I don't mean to take away from it, but to add to the conversation. When we met Justin, this man was on fire to set the country on fire in appliance repair. He wanted to take over the world, and he was set up to do so. And I'll tell you, meeting us and not just us, but life events have happened in this past year, and I don't want to bring the mood down, but uh, me and Justin have connected on a really close level on a lot of things, uh, life wise, not just in appliance repair, but the importance of living a good life and treating people well. And I don't mean to keep hammering that, but the important thing is not the business. Uh, when you treat people in general right and have your heart in the right place to do the right thing, uh, good things come from that and follow. And I don't know how much you want to share or not, but I just wanted to acknowledge that you have grown as a person drastically in the last 10 months that I've known you. And it's not that you was a bad person in general in the first place. You have just grown to be such a genuine, humble human. And I love calling you my brother, man.
I appreciate it. Feelings mutual, brother. Yeah, I'm okay with sharing some of it. I actually just lost my best friend in the entire world since I was 13 to a massive heart attack at 38 years old. And I was talking to EJ earlier today about something that was said at his funeral, and I said I'll carry it with me the rest of my life. He said somebody said when somebody was in need, Caleb took action. He didn't just, hey, work, try to say, hey, maybe we should do something or we should try to change some things. He would take action. And, that's one of the things that I firmly believe in. Last week, we gave away a $4,000 furnace to a family where their son was in the hospital for the last year. They had no money. He sold every belonging he had in his house and did a GoFundMe to pay for a furnace. I didn't do that for business. I did it because this business has afforded me the opportunity to do what I'm passionate about, which is help people, and be a good person and lead by example. We EJ and I were just talking about this too. I mean, when one of the things that I really did as we were trying to grow our business and where we're at is took a long look in the mirror and said, where am I at mindset and what do I want to be remembered for? And what are the things that are important to me? And that really helped me drive my goals in my business because look, there is nothing wrong with being a one-man show. If that's what will get you to your life goals, which is what is important, which is stability, free financial freedom. If that's what you think's best for you, you should do that 100%. For me, that wasn't it. I wanted something bigger to where I could try to, maybe lead by example and help some young men learn a career path and hopefully change their life in a better way and grow a big business. You know, I'll say it, and I've said it 1,000 times. There are plenty of guys out here just trying to make a living, and it's all about the money. The truth of the matter is, if that's what drives you solely, this business will burn you out in a New York second. And if you have a bigger goal in mind, whether that be helping people, giving back to your community, being a good neighbor, or just buying a boat or buying a bigger house, whatever that goal is, stay true to it, no matter how big you get, and keep the people you trust around you. The truth of the matter is, if you have that in your mindset as you're trying to grow your business, everybody else around you sees the transparency of what you're trying to accomplish, and that they follow somebody that wants to stay true to their beliefs. You know what I mean?
Nugget number 2. Take care of people. People take care of you. People first. The business will follow. Yeah, that's nugget number 2.
The money comes if you do the right thing. Justin, we talk about this a lot offline, and of course we all talk about it in the podcast before. The difference between ownership, one-man show, and being a tech. I think it's obvious that ownership is not for everybody. Being a tech is not for everybody. And being a multi-tech owner isn't for everybody. So one thing I was wanting to talk about on this is for the person's trying to start a business. what advice would you give them? We was talking to a tech last night that's looking to start his own business. What kind of advice do you give a guy in that situation, uh, aside from just doing the right thing, uh, to really focus on before they jump?
My biggest piece of advice. This is my third time starting the appliance repair business in 20 years, and this one has had exponentially 10 times the success the other two have. I'll be the first to admit that. Um, one of the biggest things that I've talked about with multiple people is not trying to compete in too big an area too fast, not trying to be a big company before you're a big company, because you can get squashed like a bug in some of these metro areas. Um, One of the other things too is learning as much as you can about the business side of the business, just like the tech side. What I mean by that is, surround yourself with like-minded people that have different backgrounds, that can give you tax advice, that can help you with HR problems, that can help you put policies and procedures in place, because you're not going to think about those beforehand. You're going to think about it after you have an issue. And being forward thinking is a big part of being able to scale your business and grow from being employed by somebody to being an entrepreneur and starting on your own. The last part of it, I would probably say, is um, you know reviews and your reputation can be tarnished in one click, right? And what I mean by that is, in the beginning, your goal should never be about making money. If you're doing it solely to start a business to make more money, that is the worst mindset to have, because you're not going to make it for a while. So if that's your goal, it's going to be a long road. My number one suggestion is only focus on repeat business and building a brand and getting your name out there. And if you stick to that goal, and that being your only goal in every decision you make, when it comes to refunds, don't think about whether you should give the money back. Just give it back, because that $200 is not worth getting a 1-star review that you can't undo, that will take 5 months to get you back to where you were at 5 months previously, because you don't have enough reviews to be able to sustain that kind of bad press that early on. That the reviews and your reputation is everything you have for the first 2 years. Once you get beyond that,
I want to piggyback on those
real
quick and highlight those. Mm-hmm. If you are a one-man show, get a CSR.
Yeah.
Get a CSR, because you cannot, if you are a great technician, you cannot separate yourself from that recall or from that negative person and the technical side of things. You will take it as a personal attack. I almost guarantee it if you don't have someone else answering your phone. It may not be 100% of the case, but I would say what Justin was talking about and what we've talked about in the Alliance group just recently, you have to do that. You have to have someone to kind of be that intermediary and taking those phone calls, so you can separate yourself from that and take care of people and be able to do what he's talking about. Just give the money back, or build the reputation, or work on the reviews, because then you can mentally separate yourself from it. Okay. That's huge. And then doing the right thing all the time. Integrity. Oh my gosh. If you don't have integrity and you're trying to run a business, it's not going to go well
and when
for
you're
you.
first starting, over the top integrity. What I mean by that is, do it with a purpose so it's noticed, because it doesn't go unnoticed. You just don't see those little nuggets of it's a depositing in a bank account. I look at it that way. Every time you do something as a good gesture, and you try to build a rapport with a customer, you don't know if they own 100,000 properties in your area. You got to treat each customer like it is that way, because you might run into somebody when you're having a bad day and you go in a service call and you got an attitude, and this guy's got 50,000 properties and could just start handing you business overnight. And that the door only opens once. It's a matter of if you walk through it or not. And that's a tough thing to do when you are a one-man show, because you are wearing so many hats. But above all else, that should never be thrown to the side. No other priority should jump above it. You are the face of the business, and how you represent yourself for those first 2 years is going to play a role in where you're at 4 years from now. I'm not saying anything that I wouldn't suggest to somebody. I've done it. I mean, we started this business with $3,000 in our bedroom 4 years ago. We're now on pace to do close to $2 million in 4 years with 9 service techs. And it's because above all else, we sacrifice for that business name, and it's done it. It's the biggest reason why we've got to where we got to.
That's awesome. EJ, any closing thoughts on that one?
Yeah. It's one other thing that Justin has mentioned to me and shared, and it really hit me. It was a little late for me, but I think I did it anyways. But I emphasized more. Find something that sets you apart from everybody else in the industry. If you're starting a new business, I know Justin mentioned find what you want to be, what kind of business you want to have, what kind of person you are, and what you want to come across as. Some people choose a cheaper service charge or cheaper labor or a fast repair time, 24 hours guaranteed, or a long guarantee on the repair. One thing that I've built my business trying to separate myself, because I didn't want to compete with price. I want to compete with quality of relationship. I want to be the company that you trust, that's going to come in and do the right thing, treat you like family, like you are the only customer that I have. And out of over 240 or so, 250 5-star reviews I have on Google, that's the general theme. Is I feel like they care. I feel like they took care of me. I trust them in my home, and whatever yours is, that's just what mine is. And I know Justin, he started with a lower service charge and a fast turnaround time, and I think you even did a long guarantee. You did all of them. You're going to beat everybody, and it's worked. It's worked. But you've also treated people right along the way. So, I mean, if we're talking about business expansion, we're talking about business expansion the right way. This is how you grow a business, by doing the right things. We're not talking necessarily about specific business strategies and techniques. This is how you do the right thing. Integrity, like you said. Justin, I've really enjoyed having you on here, as always. I know we always joke and say you're hard to find and get a hold of. We held you down, and thank you.
That's awesome thoughts, EJ. Thank you for coming on again, Justin. We always appreciate having you. It's been fun to get you to know you as a brother, and to walk alongside you in this growth, and all of us growing together and doing the right thing together. It's pretty amazing. It's been a fun journey. So, guys, this is just like a small sample of the things that we're trying to teach you. Grab onto some of these nuggets while you can, because this is the free stuff. This is the stuff that we're willing to give away to kind of help you be better, right? There's more coming. The masterminds, we're cranking it out right now. We're getting the next group ready. I know we keep saying that, but we literally have the next group in mind. We're starting to form stuff up so that at the beginning of the year we can launch this off. So stay tuned for that. If you haven't gotten to be a part of the Patreon, it's growing. We're on Telegram now. That chat group is amazing. It's doing awesome things. The website is coming. Progress is being made every day on that. So that'll be up and functional and fantastic sooner than later. Guys, as always, the Appliance Alliance podcast, and we are signing off.